Hey guys, it's DDD. Alright, I got 15 minutes. So boom. I'm about to basically give y'all my WrestleMania 41 predictions for obviously the women's matches that are on the card this year. So excuse me if y'all hear a bunch of background extra noise. I mean, to be honest, at this point, shit, I don't know. Enjoy the fucking entertainment, because y'all never even get this much out of me. Y'all always get me in some secluded, boring-ass setting, room in my house, whatever, with a drywall. So shit, I don't know. Enjoy the entertainment. You might hear some crazy shit in the process. But I'm going to get to it, and this is going to be one of my, short but sweet, I guess you could say, videos, because, like I said, I only got 15 minutes. So, boom. Excuse me, because I'm chewing gum, too. I'll spit it out if it gets crazy at some point. But we have, if I'm not mistaken, four women's matches on the card this year for WrestleMania 41, right? So, because I'm like, let me think. 1, 2, 3, 4. So, boom. Because 2's on night 1, and then 2 is on night 2. Alright, so boom. I'm not even going to predict these matches by night 1 and night 2. I'm going to actually predict them in my opinion as far as order of relevance. So I'm going to go from, in my opinion, what is the least relevant women's match on the card to the most relevant women's match in the card, in, like I said, my opinion. So we're going to start with the first women's match that I think is the least relevant, and we're starting with the Women's Tag Team Championship match. All right, so you have the Women's Tag Team Champions, who are right now the record-setting 3-time Women's Tag Team Champions, Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez, versus Bayley and the Women's Intercontinental Champion, Lyra Valkyria. So this match to me is, obviously super random. I feel like it almost feels like WWE was looking for an excuse to just get all 4 of these women on the card. I can honestly say that. And I think that a better opportunity could have been made, including the Women's Tag Team Championship. When I say the 4 women on the card, and then it also feels like a cheap excuse to say, okay, we're adding, or we're trying to give some sort of meaning or importance to the Women's Tag Team Championships by putting them on the WrestleMania card, right? Just slapping them on the show. But it's like WWE would have actually done better to have created that type of importance, or at least attempted to put that type of effort into the women's mid-card titles, like the Women's United States title, the Women's Intercontinental title. Coincidentally, one of the challengers that is on the opposing team in this upcoming match is the Women's Intercontinental Champion, Lyra Valkyria, as I previously mentioned. So it's like, whole time, she's one hell of a wrestler. You could have had her in a good match defending her title at WrestleMania, whether it was a one-on-one or a multi-way. I definitely think a multi-way would have been better. And with Chelsea Green, I mean, I know a lot of people feel like she's having the superior mid-card title reign, but I mean, to be honest with you, Chelsea's cute, she's good in the ring at times, but I feel like there wasn't enough momentum with what she had going on to make me feel like she would have had a match worth looking forward to at Mania. I feel like Lyra, I understand Chelsea has the better character work, but I mean, this is a wrestling show at the end of the day, so I care about the wrestling. I want to see good wrestling. I want to see good matches. Lyra, I feel like is a workhorse. And the longer she has that Intercontinental title and I see her in ring work and I just get used to her, period, it makes more sense to me why she won that title and why WWE is high on her, because she's really good in the ring. And I feel like a 4-way, people were proposing different matchups and ideas for her title, and I feel like there was this 4-way set up that included her, Bayley, Roxanne, and I feel like one other person, maybe Ivy, that I thought sounded really good. Like, I feel like that had the potential to be a good WrestleMania match, especially like the first one for the women's intercontinental title. But, you know, we couldn't get that for some reason, so whatever. They decided to go with this matchup. Bayley and Lyra as a tag team is super random. They were just fighting each other. I mean, it wasn't like they had a serious feud. It was just like, I guess, supposed to be in the spirit of friendly competition. Bayley has beaten Lyra before. Lyra has beaten Bayley now. Funny enough, they were showing shades, I guess, of a potential, you know, heel Bayley again, because once Lyra finally beat Bayley, it was like Bayley couldn't accept the defeat almost, but then she came to her senses. I don't really think nothing's going to come of that, because I feel like maybe that's this twist or turn that some people may think like, oh, is Bayley going to turn on Lyra, like if they don't win the titles? I don't think that's anything to necessarily worry about. I don't think that's really going to be a thing. But if I'm just going to get to the prediction, I'm not going to lie, I was thinking about this at first and I wasn't really sure what direction I wanted to go in. Like, I wasn't sure. I'm like Liv and Raquel, they've had the titles. I don't know if their reign is, you know, the most exciting. They might just want to give it to Bayley and Lyra just to switch things up. But then I really thought about it and I'm like, well, no, why just give it to Bayley and Lyra? Like, why? Lyra's already the women's intercontinental champion. I don't feel like Bayley necessarily needs another title. It's not going to hurt her to lose at WrestleMania. She won the women's title at WrestleMania last year. Liv and Raquel, I feel like as a team, they can hold on to those titles for a little bit longer. So I feel like they should retain. I'm just going to predict that they're going to retain. Next matchup, order of relevance. I'm going to save the women's, the actual like singles titles, main titles. I'm going to save those predictions as the last two. So the next one I'm going to do now is Jade Cargill versus Naomi. So this is a matchup that I'm actually looking forward to. I'm not going to lie, originally I wasn't like hype on the idea of like, oh, okay, like, you know, on the channel I did predict that I thought Bianca was going to be revealed as the mystery attacker. I thought that we were building to Jade and Bianca. I do still have faith that that will come eventually, but apparently this year is not the year. Okay, fine. I mean, I don't necessarily think they had to rush it. It's just, I don't know. Sometimes it's like you just never know. Like, you get paranoid about certain things. Like, people can get injured. Things can happen. Things can get in the way. But whatever. Like, it doesn't have to be rushed. They didn't want to go that route. I didn't think that they would turn Naomi heel. I honestly didn't think that it would be as entertaining as Bianca being the one. But, I mean, to be honest, this storyline and Naomi's heel turn has been entertaining. I cannot take that away from her. So, she got it. And, you know, they've done the work. And I would say this is mostly the work of Naomi, to be honest. Her character work, her heel turn. You know, she's, you know, I'm looking forward to the match now. And I would say a great part of that is due to her work. So, getting into the match itself and the prediction, right? I feel like a lot of people want Naomi to win. Obviously, you know, she's being, you know, adored right now. Like, Naomi has always been adored, but I'm just saying, you know how that is when you get the character change, the fresh switch up. Everybody's sweating you, so everyone's like, oh, you know, I love Naomi's new character work. She needs to win. She needs to win. She should win. And it's actually getting kind of weird. Like, the fans are starting to slowly flip on Jade. So, and I understand the criticisms to some extent, but, you know, I'm not off the Jade train just yet. Like, that's still my girl. But whatever the case may be, I do not think that Naomi is going to win. I'm not going to say that I don't think she should win. I mean, to be honest, I feel like if Naomi wins, it is what it is. Because at this point, they had Jade Cargill fucking lose to Liv Morgan, which was something I did not expect or see coming. I'm just kind of like, okay, like, y'all are really pushing Liv Morgan. But okay, whatever. She beats Jade Cargill, who, you know, I'm assuming, I'm thinking was supposed to be built as this, like, damn near unbeatable bitch. But okay, she loses to Liv Morgan. whatever, via distraction, whatever. But y'all have her basically lose clean to Liv. So, okay. I don't see her losing to Naomi. I kind of feel like that wouldn't make sense. So, I do feel like Jade's going to win. Like, the whole point is for Jade to get her lick back. So, Jade's going to win. Yeah, that's my prediction for that. Now, we're going to get into the 2 women's title matches next, but I'm in the middle of picking up food, so give me 1 second. I'm going to actually pause this recording. I'm back. I got my food. They had me fucked up in there, honey. I just got me a cheesesteak omelet. I'm getting breakfast. I mean, you might as well call it brunch. I mean, it's a cheesesteak omelet with fries, but honey, they trying to play with me, trying to charge me $2.50 for a small cup of A1 sauce that they never charged me for before. Honey, anyway, back on topic. So, like I said, so far we got Liv and Raquel retaining. Jade Cargill's going to get her lick back on Naomi. She's going to fuck Naomi up. But I do think that Naomi is going to have a good showing. So, you know, that'll be the piece for the Naomi fans who worry about her being quote-unquote buried. And I do think she'll just have a good year overall. You know, this is a new fresh start for her. But, you know, Jade Cargill's still the one that's going to be pushed at the end of the day. So, I mean, we have to be realistic about that. Now, the final 2 matches. The first women's title match I'm going to start with is Tiffany and Charlotte. You have Charlotte Flair, who won the Women's Royal Rumble this year, challenging the WWE Women's Champion, Tiffany Stratton. So, to be honest with you, I mean, the match sounds like a dream match on paper, you know, something to look forward to. You know, they're both really good in the ring. And, you know, they're always compared, yada, yada, yada. We get it, right? But to be honest with you, the build-up to the match was kind of giving lackluster in the beginning. Like, the momentum wasn't really there. Like, you know, I'm a fan at the end of the day, so it's like I can kind of create the hype for myself or just look forward to it based on the fact that I knew it was a dream match. So I'm like, okay, I always knew it was something to look forward to there, but I'm like, the build itself is not giving. And I mean, we've had situations like this in the past, like the Rhea Charlotte build. We know that match was fantastic. It's considered one of the greatest women's matches ever now, or at least in WrestleMania history. And the build to that was crazy. It wasn't really exciting. When I say crazy, like crazy how the build wasn't as exciting as it should have been. Same with Bianca and Sasha, and they main evented. You get what I'm saying? So this is kind of like no different. But then the momentum suddenly shifted. So I only got about 2 minutes now, so I know I'm all over the place. But basically, I think Charlotte's gonna win, okay? Because she hasn't won at WrestleMania in a little bit now. Like, I feel like it's been a couple WrestleMania since she's won. She hasn't had a title in a long time. She had that injury. She's been out for over a year. Like, she's been through a lot. And especially after all the bullshit she had to endure recently, WWE is going to reward her by having her go over Tiffany. The whole point is to humble Tiffany. She's the rookie. She has to go through the same lesson Rhea Ripley went through, basically. All right? So that's basically what I see for that. Now, the final match, the triple threat, Io Sky, Rhea Ripley, and why am I forgetting? Bianca Belair, what the fuck? So, damn, prediction for this. If I have to, I feel like Bianca should win. I'm going to predict Bianca because I feel like Rhea Ripley winning doesn't make sense. Because if that's the case, what the fuck did you take the title off of her for? Io, her winning the title was super fucking random. Bianca's the only one who hasn't touched that fucking title. So if you ask me, it only makes sense for her to win. And I mean, the way the crowd is giving it up, at this point, maybe I'm going to finally get the heel turn I've been fucking begging for from Bianca, because the crowd seems to be pushing for this shit at this fucking point. Y'all clearly don't want the woman to be a fucking babyface the way y'all are booing her. And I wouldn't say that it's necessarily go away heat or like whatever. Y'all are booing her for whatever fucking reason. I'm assuming y'all are booing her because y'all want to change. Alright, so fuck it. I mean, we ain't gonna get into the whole race shit, whatever, bitch. Maybe y'all want her to turn heel. That's what I'm gonna start saying. So those are my predictions. Liv and Raquel are retaining. Jade Cargill's gonna go over Naomi. Charlotte's gonna win. Bianca's gonna win. And that's it. See ya.